Have you ever felt the sting of rejection? That gut-wrenching pain that comes when someone you care about decides to walk away? If you've ever found yourself lost in the aftermath of a breakup, wondering how to heal, you're not alone. In fact, the ancient Stoics have some powerful lessons that can help us navigate this emotional storm. Today, we're diving deep into 10 Stoic lessons that can help you overcome the pain of love, rejection, and come out stronger on the other side. Let's go back in time, over 2,000 years ago, to ancient Greece and Rome, where Stoicism was born. The Stoics were philosophers who believed that virtue, the highest good, is based on knowledge, and that the wise live in harmony with the divine reason that governs nature. They taught that we can't control external events, but we can control our responses to them. And when it comes to dealing with rejection, these timeless teachings can be incredibly powerful. Sure, let's dive deeper into each of the Stoic lessons, starting with the first one. Lesson 1, accept what you cannot change. Have you ever found yourself wishing you could go back and reverse what occurred? Often playing over a rejection in your head? This kind of thinking is unproductive and taxing. The Stoics were all far too familiar with this. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Among Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and Stoic philosopher, wrote, "This first lesson deals with acceptance." Imagine being on the coast watching the waves pound against the rocks. No matter how hard you want to stop the tides, they will visit as scheduled or otherwise. Like those waves, rejection is an outside event beyond our reach. We can control, though, our response to it. Acceptance does not point to surrender. It's not about quitting or about feeling disheartened. It's about realizing reality as it is, free from denial or opposition, rather. When we know we cannot go back, we release ourselves from regret. This mental change enables us to redirect our energy from what we cannot change to what we can, our attitudes, thoughts, and conduct. Imagine the life Epictetus, a slave born, through which he suffered. Against all the possibilities, he grew to be among the most potent Stoic intellectuals. Epictetus said that even if we can control our reactions, the events that come upon us cannot, usually known as "it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Learning this helps you to empower yourself to grow forward. Accepting what you cannot alter is like lugging a heavy load down a long hill. It lessens your weight so you may focus more forcefully and clearly on the road ahead. This acceptance is the foundation of all other Stoic principles. It helps you to elegantly and resiliently negotiate life's challenges. Lesson 2, embrace the present moment. Imagine yourself seated in a quiet park, surrounded by far-off bird chirping and subtle leaf rustling. Deeply breathing, you get a cool air on your face. Right now, nothing is noisy or agitated. This is the core of appreciating the present, a foundational lesson of Stoicism, frequently underlining the idea of living in the here and now. Was former slave turned great Stoic philosopher Epictetus. Once he asked his students, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" This question helps us to fully engage with the present rather than fixating on the past or the future. Rejection lets us naturally immerse ourselves in a flurry of past experiences or future concerns. Rereading conversations or frightened that we never find love again, we often find ourselves wondering what we could have done better. These concepts could grab us in a painful and nervous cycle. Though the Stoics counsel us solely on the present, they are the only moment we truly have. Future is yet uncertain. Past is gone. Emphasizing the present will help us, one moment at a time, begin to heal and rebuild our life. This does not mean dismissing our feelings or writing everything as perfect. It's about realizing our emotions, then without letting them control us. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, with his great expectations. Though all around him was upheaval, in his writings, which finally came to be known as Meditations, he reminded himself to live in the present and not to be overwhelmed by the past or future. Right, confine yourself to the present. Really living each day, each hour, each minute is living in the present. It entails savoring the small pleasures, a comfortable cup of coffee or a breathtaking sunset, and conscious awareness of our words and actions. This will release the chains of regret and anxiety, thereby enabling us to find peace and clarity in the now. Adopting the present also calls for awareness. Spending a few minutes every day to focus on your breathing, observe the sensations in your body, and view your ideas free from evaluation will help you to find this simplicity. Over time, mindfulness can help you become more attentive and accepting, so enabling you to more readily handle the ups and downs of life. Emphasizing the present will help you to more effectively regulate your emotions when you are rejecting. Negotiate the reality of what is instead of let the anguish of what was, or the worry of what could be overwhelm you. This approach can enable you to acquire a more strong and balanced attitude, thereby guiding you to move with grace and power. As you welcome the present you gift yourself today. This course reminds us that life is happening right now, and that by being entirely present, we can find healing, peace, and delight within the pressures of daily living. Lesson 3. Change your perspective. Pretend you are negotiating a vast wilderness. It first seems to be limitless and unclimbable. On the other hand, if you climb a tree and see from above, the way the forest is laid up is clear, and you would not have seen previously pathways and exits. This is the viewpoint's power. Renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca noted, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. When we are rejected, our imaginations can generate a storm of negative ideas that causes us to believe we are unworthy or unloved." Stoicism encourages us to challenge these bad notions and reinterpret our experiences. Turning rejection from a personal shortcoming helps us to perceive it as a chance for growth and learning. Consider the life of Epictetus. Born a slave, then disabled, he had every reason to be depressed. Still, he chose to view his difficulties as opportunities for inner clarity and strength. It's not what happens to you, but rather how you react to it that matters. He said very memorably, "Changing your perspective helps you to see negative thoughts, question their validity, and reframe your experience to expose the internal teachings." This shift of viewpoint enables you to perceive suffering as a kind of inspiration for growth, thereby enabling you to tackle challenges with tenacity and hope. Lesson 4. Understand the nature of impermanence. Imagine yourself watching the waves come in and go out from a beach. Every wave is unique, even if none of them linger indefinitely. A fundamental concept in Stoicism, a basic but necessary reminder of life's transience. This informs us often regarded as the ephemeral nature of life. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius and Stoic philosopher also thought, accepting that everything, including our sorrow, is ephemeral, relaxes our hold on suffering and our anxiety of loss. This point of view is liberating rather than morbid. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now, take what is left and live it correctly. Reversal can make one believe that the suffering never goes away. But like waves do, our emotions wax and flow, realizing that all occurrences pass past. The Stoics counsel us to welcome this impermanence. This insight helps us to release past clinging and future anxiety. Consider memento mori, sometimes known as remember you will die, which is supposed to be a freeing rather than a melancholy thought. It enables us to value every moment without thinking of them as taken for granted and live entirely in the present. Adopting the fleeting nature of life would enable us to face rejection with calm and perspective, as it will also pass. Lesson 5. Practice self-control. Think of yourself like a ship's captain negotiating a storm. You stand still, securely gripping the wheel while the waves crash and the wind shouts. Self-control is a basic Stoic virtue best shown in this metaphor. Once a slave, Stoic philosopher Epictetus counseled that true freedom comes from within. "No man is free who is not master of himself," said he. Emotions run strong while managing rejection. We might get angry, despondent, or want to lash back. Stillness, however, helps us to keep our calm and fight, letting these emotions rule our actions. Control of yourself does not imply dismissing your feelings. It means honoring them without feeling overburdened. If you find yourself enraged following a rejection, for example, accept it, trace its source, then choose a constructive response. Instead of reacting fast, this approach enables you to act ethically and morally. Think of Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor, who understood tremendous pressure and suffering. Still, he remained inside his calm. "You have influence over your thinking, not outside events," he stated. This will help you to find strength. By means of self-control, you elegantly traverse the storm of rejection and turn a maybe devastating occurrence into an opportunity for resilience and personal growth. Lesson 6. Find strength in adversity. Imagine a blacksmith crafting a sword. Under very high temperatures, heating, hammering, and tempering metal generates strong and durable form. Similar development of our inner strength and character might come from adversity. Renowned Stoic philosopher Seneca remarked, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Rejection is a kind of adversity that could build resilience even though it is unpleasant. Consider it as a challenge that tests and strengthens your inner will rather than as a setback. Imagine the life of Nelson Mandela. Spending 27 years behind bars, he suffered unimaginably. Still, it gave him greater will and guided him toward being a leader inspiring millions of others, rather than destroying him. His story reminds us clearly that although challenging, hardship can be a furnace for genius. Ask yourself, after rejection, what lessons I might learn from it? In what way might it help me? Come to see the suffering as inevitable feature of growth. Like muscles, our character and resilience are developed in the furnace of adversity. Finding strength in adversity helps you to turn rejection into a powerful instrument for personal development, thereby transforming not just broken but also stronger and more resilient. This Stoic lesson reminds us that our trials shape us and prepare us to face challenges with uncompromising strength in daily life. Lesson 7. Cultivate inner peace. Imagine a calm lake on a clear day. Its surface is smooth and unbroken. This image catches the inner peace Stoic goal. Marcus Aurelius was the philosopher emperor, often searching for this calm among the turbulence of administering an empire. "The peace that results from stopping caring what they say," he said. Alternatively, think about or act just the acts you carry out. Rejecting someone can easily cause one to become entangled in ideas of what others think or see you. Your calm suffers from this outside focus. Apart from outer occurrences, the Stoic lessons enable us to find serenity inside ourselves by means of concentration. Inner peace comes from releasing the desire for outward validation and matching your behavior to your values. Regularly, non-judgingly consider your ideas and feelings to practice mindfulness. Go back over your values and let them guide your actions. This activity helps you remain composed and focused even in front of rejection. Think of Epictetus, a slave who came to peace within his suffering. He said that true serenity comes from within, and that since we control our own beliefs and actions, therefore, we should focus on them. Growing inner peace provides a sturdy foundation from which outer events, such as rejection, cannot easily be overturned. This Stoic course guides you in calmly and with resilience negotiating life. Lesson 8. Focus on virtue. Picture a lighthouse, tall and relentless, guiding ships across turbulent waves. This lighthouse stands for virtue, that Stoic guiding principle. Former slave turned philosopher Epictetus advised against discussing his theories. The ultimate goal for the Stoics was virtue, living in keeping with their highest values. Dealing with rejection could be simple for one to focus on the individual who rejected down you or to linger on your claimed shortcomings. Instead, Stoicism encourages you to focus on your own behavior and character, therefore helping you to manage anything. In this regard, how can I behave with wisdom, compassion, and honesty? Emphasizing virtue allows you to link your actions with your fundamental values, so offering a direction and fulfillment. This attention helps you to keep faithful to yourself and go beyond the first agony of rejection. Imagine Marcus Aurelius, an emperor conquering many challenges, writing, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be." He remained faithful to his ideals in face of pressure. Become one. His moral dedication provided him with a steady compass to guide his actions under difficult conditions. Stressing virtue enables one to make rejection a possibility for personal growth. It motivates you to act with grace and honesty, therefore enhancing your direction and self-respect. This Stoic lesson reminds us that living true to our principles will help us to negotiate the pressures of life with dignity and strength. Lesson 9. Practice gratitude. Imagine waking up every morning and stopping to enjoy the small pleasures, the sound of birds outside, the coziness of your bed, the aroma of your coffee. Learning to be grateful is a valuable Stoic lesson that enables us to see what we have rather than what we lack. Respected Stoic philosopher Seneca noted, "True happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future." After rejection, it's easy to concentrate on the loss and sorrow. Still, by routinely thanking others, we might change our perspective and begin to enjoy every day, not about ignoring pain. Gratitude is helping you to balance your suffering with appreciation of the good things. Initially, list 3 daily items you value. With time, this small habit might help you to see the positive aspects of your life, despite rejection, and shift your viewpoint. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and Holocaust survivor who found gratitude and meaning even under the most trying conditions. His ability to focus on minor blessings helped him to go through immense grief and emerge with a clear goal. Thank you practices enable you to develop a pleasant attitude that increases your resilience. This Stoic lesson enables us to know that even in the face of rejection, there are always things to be grateful for, thereby encouraging inner serenity and happiness. Lesson 10. Remember the bigger picture. Think of yourself staring skyward, starry night. This great, limitless breadth helps us to see our own experiences. Marcus Aurelius often considered the whole picture and penned, "Dwell on the beauty of life. See yourself racing with the stars as you gaze at them." Though the Stoics remind us that our personal problems are only a tiny portion of a much larger whole, rejection might seem all-consuming. Recalling this allows us to find some peace and set our pain into perspective. The Stoics maintain that every incident in life, including our challenges, has a role in the grand scheme. This idea helps us welcome our experiences as part of a larger, significant pathway. See rejection as a transitory challenge inside the bigger framework of your life. Consider Nelson Mandela, who years behind bars never lost sight of his greater calling. His hope of a united South Africa kept him going even in the worst of circumstances. Mandela's life demonstrates how much keeping the larger picture in mind could enable us to get through and find relevance in our problems. Recalling the complete picture allows you to see rejection as a stepping stone on your road beyond the present suffering. This Stoic lesson teaches us to see that our existence is a part of a larger, interwoven tapestry, and that this point of view can provide us courage and consolation amid hard conditions. Lesson 11. Detach from outcomes. Think of building a garden. Usually you tend to the earth, water the plants, and make sure they get enough sunlight. Despite your best efforts, you cannot guarantee whether every seed will germinate or the degree of growth of every plant. This is the fundamental Stoic lesson in disconnecting from results. When Epictetus counseled, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens," we readily became agitated or dissatisfied when we connect our pleasure to specific outcomes and so experience rejection. Still, Stoicism teaches us to focus more on our labor than on the result. Detaching from results enables you to remove the strain about things you cannot influence. Instead, Since you can control your behavior and reactions, you pay more attention to them. This shift of focus unleashes peace and empowerment. Consider the story of Thomas Edison, who experienced many failures and tried ceaselessly before creating the light bulb. Well known for declaring, "I have not failed. I have just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison's distance from immediate achievement encouraged him to remain tenacious and finally successful. By separating from results, you negotiate rejection with endurance and hope. This Stoic lesson reminds us that our real power arises from our actions and attitudes, not from the outcomes of which we have no influence. Lesson 12. Embrace your humanity. Imagine glancing back at your picture from a mirror. You perceive your triumphs as well as your weaknesses. Accepting your humanity is gently and warmly accepting all facets of you. After rejection, we often treat ourselves harshly, therefore highlighting our flaws and failures. Though Stoicism helps us to accept our humanity and know that imperfections are unavoidable in life. Seneca stated, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more from imagination than from reality." Adopting your humanity calls for empathy. Treat yourself the same respect and empathy you would show a friend confronted with rejection. Acknowledge your feelings free from criticism and tell yourself that mistakes are natural. Consult the J.K. saga, Rowling. Turned down multiple times before Harry Potter debuted. Growing from every setback and fiercely carrying on her task, she accepted her humanity. Her narrative is evidence of the force of resilience and self-compassion. You build a good, welcoming relationship with yourself by recognizing your humanity. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time. This Stoic lesson reminds us that being human involves having ups and downs, and by treating ourselves with compassion, we may negotiate life's obstacles with more strength and understanding.